Stuff done with this training, isn't he?
Yes.
When did that get wrapped up?
I think. I mean, yeah.
Get ready. All right, it's time is now 6 p.m. and I'll call to order our May 23rd McMinnville Fire District Board meeting. And first up is roll call of directors.
President Garvin,
Here,
Vice President Smith. Here. Secretary Pratt. Here. Treasurer Trapp
Here.
and Director Sparrow said he was not able to make it.
all right, that takes us to the Pledge of Allegiance and following Chief Blah, lead us in that.
The United States. And
To the republic for which it stands, one
the
nation,
nation under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
liberty and
justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Thank you for that, Chief Blah. That takes us to changes to the agenda. Any
No changes.
Seeing none, that'll take us to consent agenda. We have our minutes from our May 9th meeting.
I'll move to approve. They were, just like mine.
Thank you for that. So we have a motion by Secretary Pratt and a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Vice President Smith. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously 4-0. Takes us to financial report, fiscal year 24 P&L. Call on Chief for finance instruction.
You all should have had in your packets a one-page budget document. Still on track for really where we were last time. Current balance as of 5/20 is 3.6 million. Projected revenue, another 300,000. Bringing us to 3.9. Operating expenses, estimated 992,000. I think it'll be a little bit higher than that. We've added a few other station maintenance things, EMS equipment, purchases that were, when I say higher ticket, 20,000, 12,000 type of purchases, that were not captured in that, but right around the $1 million mark. Leaving us as a projected carryover balance of 2.9 with a contingency of 1 million. So unrestricted Indian fund balance of 1.92.
Any questions, Chief, on P&L projection? All right. Hearing none, that'll take us to
That's the budget update too.
budget update.
Just wanted to keep you informed. So we are on track for, well, first of all, we have, you should see the posting for the budget message or the budget meeting tomorrow in both the Oregonian as well as the News Register. We did get confirmation from both of them that would print on Friday, tomorrow. We are on track for May 29th. For the budget documents to be released to the budget committee members as well as the board members that are part of the budget committee, as well as they will go online on the website, and we will have copies of them here, hard copies if individuals want to come pick up a hard copy also. We are on track for that for the budget committee meeting on June 3rd at 1800 hours. Donna, did we have just one that had a conflict on the 3rd?
I don't believe we had any.
Okay.
I think, are you flying back?
Yeah, I'm coming back into town that day, but I'll try and make it.
Point being is I do believe we will have a home for the committee.
Sounds good. All right, any questions on budget update? Hearing none, we'll move to public comment. So the welcome meeting where anybody from the public can speak regarding district business. We ask that it doesn't exceed 3 minutes per person. Did we receive any comment cards today? Anybody on Zoom? No? All right, last call for public comment. Seeing none, we'll move to our action items tonight. Up first is item A, ambulance purchases, and I'll go on Chief to briefing.
If I could give a little brief background, we did meet with Mr. Albright from Special Districts today. We are on track to secure the approximately $1 million loan. That loan is intended to pay off the engine and ladder truck loan that the city still carries, approximately $650-ish thousand. And as discussed at several previous board meetings, that $330-ish thousand of cash, if you will, left over. That's extending or refinancing to extend the load at the same payment for 10 additional years. We are also in line to secure the what we had called the gap loan, or the loan, short-term loan that gets us our payroll basically from July 1st to approximately December 1st. Same analogy as the loan the city provided to the district last year. But it would be secured up front July 1st, and it would be paid off December 1st once we restarted receiving our tax dollars. So it's really a pass-through, if you will. It will be received in full and paid in full in approximately 5 months. I tell you that over the last, well, quite frankly, since January 2nd and before, we are struggling keeping our ambulances on the road. Transmissions, cracked frames, electrical fires on the way to calls. They're over 200,000 miles. They're end of life. We did receive our new ambulance. That ambulance was put in service last week. So that was a blessing at the time. We actually had to put it in service a little earlier than it was ready for, because we had too many ambulances down. And I talked about this last meeting, during the Chiefs Conference, I did meet with a vendor. Ambulances are about 2 years out, 1 to 2 years. One is not realistic, but quite frankly, 16 to 20 months is a very realistic timeframe. This vendor did have 2 ambulances that were coming, were scheduled as demo ambulances, ones they could take around to their shows and such. After meeting with them, discussing ambulances needs, emergent needs, the vice president actually flew in that night. I met with him and he allocated, if we wanted, the 2 demo ambulances that they're having built currently to the McMinnville Fire District. Those ambulances would be available for delivery mid-July and mid to late August for the second one. It is my recommendation and request to the board. I have met with all staff. There is I'll call it a downside. I think that all of us realize it's best for us, meaning the fire district employees, but they are a smaller boxed ambulance, same chassis, but a slightly smaller box than what we normally run. The feedback I received from many sources was, we need ambulances that are going to run on the road that are reliable. So it is my recommendation tonight that we move forward with purchasing those 2 ambulances. The quote in front of you is the $414,317.28. There will be some savings in that. We will have an early payoff, $3,500. There is a potential, if you look farther, of saving an additional $14,000 if we go and pick them up. But I'm going to say $414,000 purchase. The funding will be in July. With that said, we have to let them know now so that they're not released as demos prior to July 1st, because they would be. And the money will come from that $330-ish thousand of that loan. as well as an additional budgeted, approximate $70,000, out of next fiscal year budget. That will be part of the carryover, that we would have, for next year's budget. So, I wanted to bring it to the board for discussion. If we miss this opportunity, which we can talk about at the next one, the engine purchase. If we miss this opportunity, we're back to the 16 to 20 month timeframe before we can get another ambulance. So I, as a fire chief, think it's a priority. It's a matter of time before we literally don't have enough ambulances to be on the road. So maintenance is obviously through the roof too, but I think we've discussed that many. So I open that for questions.
Are these diesel or gas?
Yes.
So the smaller box spaces, they take it out of the patient compartment or out of storage compartments or?
The answer to your question is yes. The disadvantage I see for the crews, for a dual role ambulance, they lose one compartment where predominantly they put their turnouts and air packs. With that said, we are going to roll these out as the single role ambulances, so they won't have that protective clothing, air packs and such. However, in the patient compartment, it's 147 to 170 inch is the difference. So it's what the North private ambulances run, the Marion County Salem, the Falmouth style ambulances run. That's very common ambulance. It's just not in a dual role world with the equipment that they carry extra. It's not as conducive, but I have met, and I'd be happy to let anybody in the audience speak, but I have reached out and asked for the groups think, and I don't want to speak for them, but I think I can. They've told me that they understand, and this is a higher need than kind of getting exactly what we need today. And then we would budget subsequent years to our regular 170 inch style ambulances moving forward.
Any questions or any concerns about the demo having warranties and that kind of thing?
It's a brand new ambulance off the line. They were going to use them for demo, brand new off the line, full warranties. It would be no different than if we were to spec it and buy it. It's just what they were going to use it for.
Gotcha.
They're actually in build right now. So the first one come off the line, very first part of July, second one mid-August.
What other costs of the actual purchase of the ambulance do we have as far as upfitting and licensing and that?
Sure. There will be the licensing as normal. We are going to utilize the gurneys and such that we have now. Those will be a move. We will get rid of those ambulances, the ambulance that are least likely to survive longer. There would be some upfit charges, which we've captured, but there will be some, radio installation upfits. We are going to have them put the MDC brackets and stuff at the factory. That's all captured. So that would be more of a plug and play. But there will be mobile radio installation. However, we are running the wires, the power wires, as well as the antennas at the factory. So yes, there will be some install costs, but very minimal.
Sounds good. Any other questions you guys can think of for Chief? So I think he's looking for a motion to approve and purchase these. If anybody so wishes, I would entertain a motion to approve the purchase of these two ambulances outlined in the purchase order from Hughes Fire Equipment.
I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of two medic units as outlined in the bid provided by Hughes Fire Equipment.
I have a motion by Vice President Smith. Thank you for that. And second?
Second that. Beach to
You gotta jump early. Second by Secretary Pratt. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously 4-0. And then next up we have engine purchase.
Well, unfortunately, we also had an electrical fire on engine one approximately 2 weeks ago. again, it's at end of life. The unfortunate thing for that is they're 50 to 55 months out for engines, as low as 37 months. We did find a very new but used engine that we were aggressively pursuing, and I was going to bring tonight for purchase. I had agreed on a price from the fire chief. It was a very, very nice rig. Was not exactly what we were looking for, but again, after consultation with the crews that would be working on it, they felt like it was something to move forward with to get us by until we could, purchase an engine 37 months out. Unfortunately, it sold yesterday morning from a different department. So I kept it on there, number one, because I had already put it on there, but number two, we appreciate the willingness to purchase the 2 ambulances, because unfortunately, that's likely what would have happened in this case too. And, we're really trying to make sure that we support our crews and get them the equipment that they need to do their jobs. And so I do appreciate the ambulance purchases, and we will keep working on engine purchases as well as we will budget. You'll see in next year's budget a line item specific to that. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Chief. Was there anything else you want to talk about C and D? And
If there's any questions is all, I started with that just so you kind of had history, but is there any questions on the district loan to pay off the city's obligation for the engine and ladder truck, and or the gap loan to get us from July 1st to December 1st, till our taxes come in, and then pay it off?
I may have missed how much the gap loan was for.
4.5.
Thank you.
Any other questions regarding the loans or their terms? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to other business. Item A is board committee and liaison reports, and first up we have LoSAP. Anything new on that treasurer track?
No, nothing new to report with LoSAP at this time.
All right, item 2, we have branding, and I'll call on Chief to brief on challenge coins.
I would like, and I know that I'm not sure who else is on it from the board, but I have talked to Darby. I would like to ask the branding committee to look at producing a challenge coin. We utilized our challenge coins, as many of you know. I think I actually have it in my notes, but we did have some school district employees that helped save a 17-year-old track athlete's life that went into cardiac arrest while at track practice. We presented them with a life-saving award and our challenge coin. Unfortunately, the challenge coin is still a city challenge coin. Doesn't show the district. So I would like to ask if the branding committee be willing to take that project on and produce and or provide a mocked up challenge coin for purchase for district appreciations of staff as well as even citizens for those type of events.
Sounds good. Treasurer track, you're on branding too, correct? Or no?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Yes, Chief Darby just recently, this last week, sent out an email to the branding committee. He's wanting to meet on a Wednesday night, which is also a drill night, but to kind of reactivate that committee for a couple of small upcoming projects. I'm guessing that this is one of them. Everyone that responded said that basically any Wednesday works. So hopefully I haven't seen an exact date, but I'm hoping in the next week or two we'll be meeting. So we'll start tackling that then.
Sounds good. We'll look forward to a follow-up report on that. Any other questions around the challenge coin? Hearing none, we'll move on to board information reports. Anybody have anything to share on that?
I'll share that it is National EMS Week. So shout out to all of our men and women, because they all do EMS. It's a big part of what we do, and current struggles around apparatus and all that, challenges of EMS. So thank you for all you do on EMS. It's a huge part of what we do. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I didn't add it as an agenda item, but I'll bring back up moving down to one board meeting a month. We brought it up last meeting with Treasurer Trapp and Secretary Pratt. Director Sparrow and myself were absent, but we're hoping to do that in July, and my proposal would be to move it to the fourth Thursday of every month. We'll meet once a month, given the briefness of our meetings. I'd like to honor everybody's time and staff's time in the evening. Also, just the cost of having put them on, so
That'd be good.
if that sounds good for you, I'd bring an action item back if we need to do that at our next meeting.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah. And then we'd still just do 1,800.
That works good.
Right. Michelle, do we need to do that through like a formal resolution? No?
To change.
I
Yeah,
don't
you can look
think
into
so.
that and get back to us?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Anything else for information reports?
I'm getting a call.
Okay. Thanks, Treasurer Trapp. Be safe. Next up, we have department reports. First up is local 3099. Thank you. Next up, we have volunteer association. Anybody for the volunteers tonight? Nothing to report, and back to fire chief. First up, DC3.
Lots of progress made in the last 2 days. We had VC3 on site yesterday, an engineer. Did walk through the station. Scott and his staff from City IT were here. He took back a lot of the technical information to VC3. Today, they also had a Zoom call with the transition team. Patty from YCOM was on. City IT was not, but our staff was on also, Donna and Chief Darby, and then I came late after another meeting. They believe that they're still on target for a July 1st switchover, which is a change from kind of what we thought after everybody kind of originally started talking. So that's really good news. As I told them, I'm not holding to a date as well as much as making a good, smooth technical transition. So point being though, everybody is working very hard. Ziply, as you all know, was the vendor that we chose for internet. That's who we have at Station 12. They are also on board. Their engineers came, did a walkthrough a few days before that to pull fiber into the station and provide those resources. Ziply is part of the VC3 meetings, as well as we have weekly meetings with them also to make sure that nothing gets dropped. Moving forward, there will be, I believe it's Thursday meetings. There will be every Thursday meetings with VC3, 2 or 3 o'clock, something like that. 2 o'clock every week with all players to make sure that we keep on track and we provide information needed. So questions on them?
No questions here.
We have been reaching out and meeting with other vendors for HR, finance, payroll. We have met with Springbrook so far for those 3 modules. There are a couple other vendors that we have reached or are reaching out to just kind of get input on what's best for the district. As you know, currently we have a payroll company. We have QuickBooks as finance, which at our size is a little small. And we don't really have anything electronic for HR. That'd be performance appraisals, online applications, things like that. So we're working hard. It may not happen, or my direction or my desire is that we find a product and a program that works, that we can kind of bundle, if you will. So you have, one place to change a name when we hire or retire or those type of things. But we're going to do our due diligence, work through all those different programs and vendors and come up with what we think is going to work best for the district. So.
Any questions on HR and Springbrook vendor? Hearing none, contract negotiation?
Contract negotiations, we've met with our attorney. Our attorney, I did get an email today, has reached out to local 3099. So we're gonna start those joint conversations here in the next couple of weeks. So I just want to let you know that we're still continuing with that and process is moving forward. Chief Law applied for a first round of a UTV grant, which I think I brought up last week. We did make it through the first round. There's no board action needed yet because we haven't applied for the actual numbers or amount, but I think that's coming out June-ish, June 10th. Okay, so do you need action on that then now? Because the next meeting is not till the 13th.
I think our work policy does say we have to. We're pressing partner.
Okay, so is there a cost to it from on our side?
The cost, it's a 20% match, but it can be
In kind?
in-kind donations, and where we're looking at, we don't have final numbers, and I apologize. But when we stock it with our EMS supplies that are currently as part of, our kits and stuff that currently have in-house, that can be, we believe we'll be able to get very close to being able to get that 20% match through that.
We're gonna end kind of ceramic coating for it too, if you need to bump that number.
So I think it is best if you did take action. I apologize. I didn't realize. I thought it opened in June, so I apologize for that. It probably is best if you choose to take board action and approve us to seek the grant with in-kind, not donations, but in-kind match.
Michelle, could you propose a motion off the cuff that we could vote on? And we could come back to it if you want to think on it for a little bit.
I actually think the way Chief articulated it is very good. So the motion could be to approve staff to submit the grant application, including the 20% match to be comprised as nearly as possible with in-kind contributions.
All right, I'd entertain a motion as Michelle has
Stated.
So moved.
All right, I have a motion by Vice President Smith
I'll second that.
and a second by Secretary Pratt. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0.
Yeah, again, I apologize. I thought it opened, so it's my fault. Just an update on the Lafayette contract. We are still actively working on that. There is a little bit of a snafu in the sense that we believe that it may have to end up being a three-way contract because of the way the 190 is written between Carlton Fire District and Lafayette. We're not sure that it can be entered by one entity. So Michelle has reached out to the city of Lafayette's attorney, and we're waiting to hear back. So just to let you know, we are still working on it, but we're making sure that we do our due diligence and that we enter into a legal agreement.
Questions on Lafayette? All right, air show?
Air show contract, we do have a draft of the air show contract. It's just going to be a 1-year contract. Because the city contract is up at the end of this year anyway, so it will all have to be redone anyways. So rather than kind of changing and reinventing the wheel, we're really more so going with the flow. All really it will entitle is of course the legal indemnification stuff, but that we will get reimbursed, that we have the authority to do the inspections and things like that, which we have the legal authority to do, and those type of things. Next year will be a much more full contract with ambulance service providers and things like that. But right now is not really the time to change it, if you will.
Good. ASA plan update?
The Yamhill County did get their ASA agreement review back from the state. It has many recommendations and or requirements. There is a committee that are working through those recommendations and requirements now, most of which are fairly easy, mutual aid agreements, things like that, that need to be called out. I wouldn't say to me that there was anything earth shattering. Amy and myself do sit on that committee. 12th Valley has a rep, and I think Sheridan has a rep. I don't think they were at the last meeting, but so we're working through those to update that language.
New medic in service.
I think we can skip that one unless there's questions, but the new medic unit was put in service just a few days early to help get us by. But to my knowledge, it's, other than a high idle issue, maybe, it seems to be running down the road.
And not on fire.
And it is not on fire like the other one. A little over a week and a half ago, staff and crews went to the district office for their board meeting. We were excited to be asked by the school board as well as the superintendent of schools to be part of the appreciation awards ceremony, if you will, for the 3 coaches that aided in Julian's cardiac arrest event, 17-year-old male that was, and by the way, his family has approved discussion of this. 17-year-old male, first day of track practice, started to run and collapsed in cardiac arrest. His 2 coaches and trainer provided CPR. They shocked him and called 911. Our crews arrived. He was still in arrest. Ultimately converted him and flew him to a Portland hospital, in which he's now at school, was at the event. But we provided them with a life-saving award as well as challenge coins. And we're also, and we'll let you know when, we're also going to be doing it for our staff. We have 2 code saves that will be recognizing our staff also. So we'll let the board know. So if you're available, you can attend those events. Kudos to the district employees and the school district.
For that, we got speaking engagement.
Yeah, we've been out and about quite a bit, meeting with many different entities around the city. Just there to kind of say hi, support, discuss the new district. There's a lot of questions out there. I have been at all of them. Both myself and or Chief Darby attend the Lions Clubs, the Rotaries, the corporate coffees at Linfield, and the Chambers greeters. It's been very positive. A lot of really good questions, a lot of really good clarifications. We're going to continue to do that. We have become members, I believe, of all of them except for one, which we'll work on. But it's been a real positive event. I feel very supported. And I think a lot of their questions have been great questions, but just trying to be out there in the community and help where we can and partner where we can. And show the district support for the support that was shown to the district during last year's vote. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you for that. Takes us to item D, correspondence. Anybody get anything in the last couple weeks? Nothing here. Informational items. Hearing and seeing none, that'll take us to our next board meeting. Will be Thursday, June 13th, 2024 at 6 p.m. or 1800. I would also mention that we have our budget committee meeting on June 3rd at 1800 here. And with that, I'll adjourn tonight's meeting at 6:34 p.m. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for your help, Michelle.
Thank you.